The 3 personalities you must have. First, these 3 personalities must be present in your business. So the number 1 personality is the entrepreneur. Number 2 personality is the manager. The number 3 personality is the technician. Now, the entrepreneur is the vision of the business and the future of the business. What does it mean to be an entrepreneur? It means to dream about solutions. A lot of photographers are not entrepreneurs. To dream about solutions. To think about the future of the business. Where will this business be in the next 5 years? That's the job of an entrepreneur, right? What are the mistakes we've made this year that we must not make next year? What can we do differently next year to double our profits? That is the meaning of vision and future. What new products can we add to the business to help us make more money? Who do we need to add to this business to make the business better? What software do we need to subscribe to help the business in this particular area? What AI can we employ to help us navigate this area? That is the job of an entrepreneur. Number 2, the manager. The manager's focus is the system of the company, the day-to-day activity of the company. The entrepreneur thinks of the future, the manager thinks of the present. Because it is the present that shapes the future. But the future has to be shaped also. But if there's nobody looking at the future, there is no guide, there's no roadmap, there's no compass towards that future. But you cannot just be looking at the future without managing the present. They work hand in hand. And that is where the manager comes in. The manager brings order to the business. Make sure clients get jobs on time. Make sure we meet deadline. Make sure the quality of the work is consistent. Make sure the printing press is delivering as they should. Make sure the equipment are properly serviced and managed and cleaned. That is the job of a manager. That's the second personality. The third personality is the technician, like the laborer, that does the actual work. That's the person that is focused on the doing of the work. Whatever business is, maybe this O3 personality formula is not only applicable to photography, right? The real doing is where the technician or the laborer comes to play. For example, in our own photography business, the photography taking is the technician level, right? The photography taking in itself is the laborer level. And what I've seen is that majority of photographers are technicians alone. They do not cover the 3 key personalities that makes a business grow. They focus on only the 3rd level, which is the technician level. So most photographers are laborers. They are technicians. A technician cannot drive a business to a greater level. I myself, I don't even shoot as much in my company anymore. Not because I don't like shooting, but because I said to myself that this company must have 3 personalities: the entrepreneur, the manager, and the technician. I need to be the entrepreneur. I need to have a manager, and I need technicians. That is how all of us can grow together. And even if you have not come to the point where you have the financial resources to separate the personalities between 3 people, you need to embody those 3 personalities and feed the 3 of them. You have to feed and nurture the 3 of them. You have to feed the entrepreneur side of you. You have to feed the manager side of you. And you have to feed the technician side of you. Yeah. So the entrepreneur side of you is the vision side of you. So you need to know more about business growth. You need to know more about forecasting, about budgeting, about planning ahead, about understanding the industry, about scaling your business, about product development for your business. What can I add to my wedding photography that will give me more money? What can I do differently for my customers that will make them happy with my brand? That's the entrepreneur. Then the manager will be like, okay, this customer where we don't get to, what can I do to make sure they are satisfied? How do I make sure we deliver on time? How do I make sure that their equipment does not spoil? How do I make sure that the light is working? How do I make sure that we buy fuel in the gen? That's manager. Then the technician is, how do I create beautiful pictures? How do I have beautiful lighting? How do I have beautiful color grading? How do I have beautiful retouching? That is the balance, guys. That is the balance. But majority of us don't have that balance. So we are just like focused on, lighting, retouching. That's why even on my YouTube and many education that I do, anytime I do anything about lighting, you will see views, everybody lighting. But when I do something about mindset like this, I don't go watch them. Because which one mindset? Maybe come out here with his mindset. You forget that there's a part of you that is the entrepreneur. Why am I sounding like a pastor right now? Right? There's a part of you that is the entrepreneur. That is important because that is the personality that will drive your business to the next level, not the photography. No. Because even if you are the best photographer in the world and the whole world wants you to shoot them, and you are not an entrepreneur, you don't have an entrepreneur mind, you don't have an entrepreneur understanding, you will never grow. You will just be working and sweating and suffering. People will book you, you'll be making money, but the money itself, you will not use it to make the right decisions. Any small money, you go and buy 1.2, you go and buy new 1.2, you buy latest camera. That's what I see in the industry. Photographers are just upgrading camera. What the hell is wrong with you? Why are you upgrading camera up and down? Eh? I know top photographers that are still shooting with Sigma art lenses. Everybody's using 1.2. Now, 1.2 lenses is even plenty than 2.8 lenses. Everybody, they'll use their last cover to buy lens. You think it's lens that will make you relevant? You think it's lens? No. And this is not me saying equipment is not important. But you have to balance it. You take your resources, your time and your money. How do I feed my entrepreneur side? How do I feed my manager side? How do I feed my technician side? Then later, you can now look at it and say, how do I find another entrepreneur that will not be me? Or how do I find another manager that will not be me? Or how do I find another technician that will not be me? And it may be human being technician, it may be software or technology technician. But these three key things, very, very important that we digest this in our mind, that we carry these three components, or we know these three components. Right? Very, very key. Very, very key that we know this. These three components is what will change the game for you. This thing that I'm telling you, nobody, no other photographer will tell you. It's a fact. No photographer will sit you down and have this kind of conversation with you. They will just be telling you to value yourself. Value yourself. You need to know your value. You need to know your value. Charge high. Increase price. That's what everybody says. And the thing is to make me angry. Increase price. The time I tried, I increased price. They don't book me. I had to reduce price back. I had to reduce price. And until when I now understood business, that is when I now started making money. Because I became the entrepreneur. I was able to go and look for customers. I was able to go out and network, find new customers, find new people to collaborate with, find new people to connect with, bring business to the game, work with my technicians in my business, work with my manager in my business. That is when the game changed for me. It's not when I increase price. Everybody is obsessed with price increments. We want to increase price, because that's the only way to grow. They don't have structure, they don't have business. So they cannot create new products because they don't have structure, they don't have business. So the best way for progress is price increase. I came to a point where I don't care about price anymore. Not because I don't want to increase price, but I know that if I can create a system that has an entrepreneur, a manager, and a technician, my business can make enough money, even if we are cheap. Because I realize that why is it that the companies that make billions and hundreds of millions annually, they are cheap. And the ones that are charging premium, they are not making as much. Think about it. I think I'm sounding angry right now. I need to calm down. Right? Everybody wants to increase price. I'm not saying you cannot increase price. Don't get me wrong. Everybody, that price increment is because your product is valuable, and nobody is saying you should not increase price. But it's very important that you understand this balance. Thank you, guys.